It's been about 12 hours since the most damaging elements of Hurricane Ike came ashore. As daylight reached the coast this morning, we began to get an initial view of what the damages were and what the impact of this storm has had on the state of Texas. And I think it is clear that it was very significant. For the past few days, our top priority has been evacuating our citizens out of the path of this storm, and today we're focused on the search and rescue aspect. And in anticipation of this moment, we pre-positioned the largest search and rescue operation in the history of the state of Texas in advance of this storm. There are thousands of personnel and vehicles that were very close in to where the storm struck the coast. These were pre-positioned. They rode out the storm in those affected areas as safely as possible. And as we speak, there are elements of this task force that are re-entering Galveston by air, by boat, by ground, also into Orange County and in East Harris County. I know Senator Mike Jackson is here, who has a large part of that most severely impacted area. And Mike, I want to say thank you for being here and looking after your citizens that you represent. These first responders that you may be seeing on some of the film footage is a mix of Texas military forces with high-profile vehicles. We've got 5 Black Hawk helicopters that are en route. There's several Coast Guard helicopters, Texas Parks and Wildlife, game wardens with their airboats. There are members of Texas Task Force 1 in that mix as well, who are trained in fast water rescue. We want to keep these people in our prayers. Not only those that are being rescued, but those courageous men and women of this task force that are moving into harm's way to save some lives. As you know, as we've repeatedly said, that we pray for the best, but we prepare for the worst. And I should say, fortunately, the worst case scenario that was spoken about, that was projected in some areas, did not occur, particularly in the Houston Ship Channel. But our neighbors in Orange, over in the east side of Harris County, and obviously on the Galveston Island, certainly bore the brunt of this storm. All of those areas are dealing with severe flooding. In Galveston, the Main Islands Hospital, the University of Texas Medical Branch, has 2 feet of water in its first floor. Just 2 hours ago, despite some very rough conditions, we coordinated a rescue operation with the Coast Guard and Texas Task Force 1 to rescue 4 patients out of that facility. Power and utilities are out throughout a number of counties, including Galveston, Harris, Chambers, Orange, Jefferson, and initial reports indicate very heavy damage to the infrastructure. So until we get the area stabilized, Galveston Island will be closed to all but emergency and first responder vehicles. Residents who rode out the storm will be allowed to remain, but will not be allowed back until it is deemed safe. Although we are coordinating the bulk of this rescue operation from here at the State Operations Center, Texas Task Force Ike mobilized from its staging area in San Antonio, Lufkin, and in Houston, and they're headed into Galveston as we speak. They're now headed into those affected areas, as well as East Harris County and Orange counties, to assist with the rescue, reentry, and the recovery efforts. Components of this group, composed of decision makers from various state, federal agencies, as well as the private sector partners, will operate from each of the 3 major impact areas: Lufkin, Galveston, and Orange. What I want people to keep in mind is Ike has not left the state yet. It is still doing damage up through East Texas. As it recedes from the coast, we're focusing our efforts on search and rescue. But to all the Texans out there that are either in the path of this storm or situated in its deteriorating eye at this particular point in time, keep your head down. If you're in an affected area, we're on our way to help you. If you evacuated, please remain where you are and wait until you get official word that you may return to your home. Throughout this process, I've encouraged, or I am encouraged to see the lengths of which Texans are going to help their neighbors, and it's I think, proof again to not just to Texas but to the country that Texas is prepared to respond to these types of events, and the great heart that this state has for taking care of their neighbors. And there have been a lot of people worked really hard. A number of them are standing behind me. A number of them that you'll never see and you'll never know. But the real work's ahead of us as we start into the recovery of this state.